Hi, Joe Bolte, PFR Technician and Herbicide Specialist, coming to you from Effingham. Today we're going to talk about Enlist carrier rate and some of the things that we've learned from our insight plots this year, our demo plots that we did. So one of the tank mix options for Enlist One, approved tank mix options, is Liberty. Liberty is a contact herbicide. So what GPA should we run? We know systemics, such as glyphosate, we can run 10 GPA, but then in our Liberty carrier rate series, we talked about we need Liberty to be 20. So thing to keep in mind is Liberty's contact, so we need good coverage. When we run Enlist One, we have to go by the most restrictive label. So that restricted label would be Enlist One with their nozzle selection. So with Enlist One, we have to run an approved either AIXR, TTI, something that creates bigger droplets. All right, so if we back our GPA down too much, we already got bigger droplets, that Liberty's really going to struggle. But we have to run those special tips as soon as we put Enlist One with Liberty. All right, so now we got bigger droplets. Well, we know Liberty does best at 20 GPA. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to look at, well, what happens when you put Enlist One and Liberty together? So we did from 10, 15, and 20 GPA. Then we also compared Enlist One and glyphosate, two systemic products where coverage isn't as critical as what it is with the contact herbicide. So what we noticed in that study, that actually when we sprayed Enlist One and Liberty at 10 GPA, we actually had worse efficacy than spraying Enlist One and glyphosate, even though it's a glyphosate resistant population. Well, why is that? Well, in theory, probably what could be going on is maybe we're burning that leaf too much at 10 GPA and we're not allowing that Enlist One to get into the plant, because the Liberty's going to work much quicker than the Enlist One. And then also we're spraying at 10 GPA with the TTI nozzle. We know Liberty's not going to do well at all. So we essentially made the worst of both worlds. When we go to 15 GPA, we do see an increase in efficacy with Enlist One and Liberty, but we did have the best control at 20. Now, some of these pictures you may notice, well, there's still some weeds. Well, what we've noticed with these studies, we don't do a pre-emerge, so that way it's easier to rate these post-only. Each program, we need to run a good pre. This would help make our post-trip more successful because we have less selection pressure. But that's why you maybe see a few escapes here and there. So we need to focus on the power and the pre. Now, Enlist One and glyphosate, what have we noticed with it? Well, it was more consistent. Whether we sprayed it at 10 or 15 GPA, it was more consistent. Then we looked at putting all three together, which it didn't do near as well as what Enlist One and Liberty did on water hemp at 20 GPA. So 20 GPA with Enlist One and Liberty does seem to have an advantage. We at least need to run Enlist One and Liberty at 15 GPA, where Enlist One and glyphosate, we don't really see the response between 10 or 15. However, still running 15 is going to be more ideal because that will help our coverage, especially if we start talking about thicker weeds or thicker densities. So thank you for watching and have a great day.